Generally, if somebody's charged with domestic violence, it is a private setting. It's generally a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend that live together, thing like that. So the amount of evidence involved is generally quite small. Sometimes a neighbor calls the police. Sometimes one of the parties calls the police. The police come to the scene and they have to listen to two stories. Generally, one person says, he hit me or she hit me, who hit who first. And at that point in time, the officers have to determine who they believe to be the primary aggressor is. Once they determine who the primary aggressor is, they're under a duty to arrest that person. So if the police come to a quarrel between household members, the great likelihood is somebody's going to jail. The officers want to defuse the situation, and they have to determine a primary aggressor, and then they have to arrest that person. So when they do arrest that person, and we get discovery on your case, barring some rare occurrence where it's outside and there's video evidence, or somebody had their fake camera phone on while it was going on, things like that, the evidence is limited to the injuries to the parties and what he said and what she said. And that's not a lot of evidence, generally, in the big scheme of things, like you would look for in a murder case or certain other types of case, or a DUI case, which is very complicated with lots of evidence that has to be handled a certain way, which is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, there's not much evidence, which means the state only has so much to go forward on. On the other hand, you have jurors in a jury box that are normal human beings off the street that have lived life, and a man hurting a woman, for example, or a woman hurting a man that they're in that type of relationship with, can become an inflammatory situation for a jury. And if you think about it, if you're on a jury and you hear the story from one side and the story from the other side, some people are likely to become inflamed enough to want to get one of the parties. Though jurors make a promise not to do that, we all have our own internal biases that we bring to life, right, at everything we do. And as a result, sometimes the lack of evidence becomes more dangerous than a whole bunch of evidence that we can dissect and use against the other side. If you're charged with domestic violence in South Carolina and you have questions, we can help. Your lawyers at the beach are here to help you navigate life's hurdles. These life's hurdles are serious, and even the misdemeanors that seem small and they seem like I could just pay a fine and move on can have disastrous long-term consequences. So let us help. Give us a call. Let us help you solve your problem in the way that is specific to your situation and puts you in the best spot you can be in.